I'm Steve Adubato. We're joined in the studio by a gentleman who is making a powerful difference, and he is Andy Kaiser, founder and trustee of the Ryan Andrew Kaiser Memorial Foundation. Good to see you, Andy.
Nice to see you again, Steve. Thanks for having me.
We had you with us a couple of years ago talk about your son, Ryan, and his story, and how that created this powerful and important foundation. Talk about Ryan.
I think from our last show, we talked about my son Ryan, who passed away, unfortunately, sadly and unexpectedly, from heart disease at the age of 6 in 2003. Ryan was born with a very complex heart ailment. He had 3 open heart surgeries before he was 2, was given a clean bill of health after that, and unfortunately, it didn't last as long as we had hoped. 4 years later, he died very suddenly in our home, and sadly, we lost him. And time has gone by. 7 years now has gone by, and great kid. It just didn't go exactly as we planned, as so happens to many parents who unfortunately lose kids.
Andy, talk a little bit about, because I don't want to assume that people watching us, excuse me, right now saw that original show. Your professional background and how you changed your life pretty dramatically.
It did. I spent most of my career on Wall Street. I managed money for a living. In 2003, after Ryan died, I took 9 months off to try to figure out kind of what to do next. And one of the things that we wanted to do is do something kind of special in Ryan's memory, and that's really how the Ryan Andrew Kaiser Memorial Foundation started. So we, between my wife and I and 4 other trustees, we run the Ryan Andrew Kaiser Memorial Foundation, which is in business, frankly, to raise money to help families that have sick kids that can't afford medical bills, proper medical treatment. We pay for families to stay in local hospitals with their kids, so we provide lodging. We'll provide plane trips if someone's coming in from out of town. They want to be in a hospital in New York to have their child taken care of.
How important is that to be able to be right there?
I think it's critical. Ryan was in DeBoer Heart and Lung Center. We lived there. We stayed on the campus. We stayed in the Ronald McDonald House type of facility, and a lot of parents can't afford to do it, and that really broke our heart when we found that out. So one of the things that the foundation does is we make sure that we can provide funding for families who might not be able to afford lodging to be near their children. When your young kids are in the hospital, they really need 24-hour care, not just from the doctors, but from their parents as well. So if we can help a family stay with or near their child, we're happy to do that. And we'd love to hear more requests into our foundation with families who want to be near their kids.
Which is why we have your website up. Sorry for interrupting you.
Sure.
How do people find you?
In a few ways. I think our footprint is getting larger thanks to perhaps shows like this. We're expanding. We're doing different things in different states. We're planning on funding our first playground in Pennsylvania probably by the end of this year. So I think the
REKMF, just the playground piece is important.
Sure. One of the things that the foundation does is we build playgrounds for kids. So if there are we've done 6 so far. So if there's a playground project in a town that's a kid-friendly project that might memorialize a child that unfortunately lost his life, our foundation would like to know about it because we could potentially contribute to that. Playgrounds are fun. They're fun places for families to gather and kids to play. Our son was a young kid, and that's just something that really kind of moves our trustees at the foundation. There's a lot of old playgrounds that are in disrepair. We think they need to be improved. So that's one of the things that we're trying to spend money on.
Money go to research as well?
It does. Research is tough for us because it's hard for us to kind of get our head around the tangible benefits. I think it's real easy for us to see the tangible benefits of, hey, thanks for paying for that 2 weeks in the hospital for us to be near our child. Or
a playground that didn't exist.
Right, or thanks for donating $50,000 to that playground. One of the things we just recently did is we made a $50,000 donation through the foundation to the Canadian Children's Hospital at Jersey Shore Medical Center.
Sure.
And what we did is we just built their new playroom for kids. So kids in the hospital that can't be outside playing on a playground, now they have a nice playroom to play in at the hospital.
You look for very tangible ways to make a difference.
I think it's important for us, first of all, because we kind of walk that life, if you will. But I think it's important for the people who donate to us and the people who partner with us. So if you're watching this program today and you think that the REKMF is a worthwhile cause, you'll see tangible benefits by your donation, because we very quickly try to turn around, give that money away, and build things like parks for kids, and pay for overnight hospital stays, and pay for transportation, and pay for medication, and maybe even pay hospital bills for a family that can't afford to pay that bill. And in this environment, I think there's there's many families that unfortunately are in that situation.
Talk to us, last time we talked about Ryan's Run. It's in June, right?
It is. Ryan's Run is a great event. It's our only fundraiser every year. It's grown dramatically since we started it 6 years ago. This past June was our largest turnout ever. I think it's turning out to be one of the premier 5K races in New Jersey. It's a 5K run. It's a 1 mile run. It attracts a lot of kids. It attracts a lot of family. It attracts a lot of business sponsorships. As a matter of fact, K. Hovnanian Jersey Shore Medical Center is one of our main sponsors for the next 2 years, and they've been great partners. And we look forward to kind of working more with them. But this event is really unique. You know, we do a lot of runs. My wife and I, we're athletic. We like to go out and run. And a lot of people who run other races come to us and they say, hey, look, this is a really special event. You know, we don't know exactly what you're doing here, but this just feels different. It's special. And I think it really is. You know, where people come to our race, they know that they know where the money's being spent. You know, I think I talked to you last time about people spending $20, $25 to run the race, and they get a nice T-shirt, and they get to meet some nice people. But they know right away that their money's going to a really, really nice cause.
What would you say, Andy? I think I asked you this before, but if I didn't, I want to make sure I do now. Obviously, there are parents watching right now who have children who are pretty sick. And those of us who are blessed enough to have children, we say, geez, you know, I feel terrible for you, or, you know, or some say things like, I know what that's like, and I always wonder how they know if they've never been there, and you've been there in the most powerful and tragic way that I can think of. What advice do you have? Are you willing to offer to parents right now who don't see any hope because their child is very sick?
You know, I would say to those parents to keep breathing. You know, have faith, have hope. I'm no doctor, but you know, miracles happen. If there are parents that need help, there's plenty of foundations like mine that they can reach out to, and they can talk to people like me who have had perhaps similar experiences, or talk to our trustees who've had who support our foundation. So if they need financial help, they can probably get it from us. If they need help kind of meandering through their problem, we can probably help them with that as well.
Hey, there's another piece of this. I know there are people watching, parents watching, and I've thought this when I thought about you and the last time you left. That I've often said this, that I wouldn't, our boy's 6, one of our boys is 6, and I've often said if, God forbid, I wouldn't be able to go on. I know I wouldn't be able to go on. And to engage in hypothetical discussions is absurd and insensitive, and I'm not going to do that. But in your own way, in whatever grieving that you continue to experience, you and your family, your wife, I'm not going to use the words gone on. You make this incredible difference. Is that part of it for you?
You know, I'm not sure. What I do know is you can't die with your kids. And you know, life's worth living for everything else that is potentially out there. And I think, you know, reflecting back to 2003 and how horrible of a year that was for us, we have other kids and we have other family, and there's other things for us to do and accomplish. Jack is now 10. Jamie's 7. Doing great in school. You know, growing up way too fast, as you probably know with your kids. But they're doing great. And the nice thing that I'm starting to notice is that our kids are actually starting. Sure,
go ahead.
Our kids are starting to get more involved in the foundation, which is nice.
They are.
As they get older, they're starting to take a part of
That's wonderful.
their brother's foundation.